You're stuck in a dead-end job that you're afraid to leave because you don't have the money saved up to live off of until you can find a new one. So you're miserable. You live in a situation with someone where you're sharing space, but you don't even like them, but you can't move out because you haven't saved the money to get your own place. And God forbid, if an expense comes up, your car breaks down and you have to get something worked on, you don't have the money or the credit to do that. These are some of the situations that cause financial anxiety. And believe it or not, 87% of Americans deal with financial anxiety at least once a week. Something goes on in their brain that says, what if something happens? Will I be okay monetarily? This is what I want to talk to you about today. It's a very important topic, and everyone needs to know how to get out of it. So if you can just spare me a few minutes of your time, I'm going to help you get through financial anxiety so that you won't have to feel this ever again. Hi, my name is Imani, and I am the Healthy Finance Coach, and I am dedicated to helping you become financially free and educated and disciplined with balance in any economic climate. And if you know anything about me, you know I'm going to give it to you real and raw. No sugarcoating here, because really, what does sugarcoating do for you? Absolutely nothing. The truth hurts, but the truth will also set you free. So, what are some of the issues that people deal with when it comes to financial anxiety? So financial anxiety can stem from a variety of issues feeling out of your control. One of them is staying in unwanted relationships. How many times have we stayed places where we wanted to get out so bad we couldn't stand being there? And it doesn't always have to be romantic relationships. You can be living with your parent, living with a friend, a roommate, but you're like, I just want my own space. I want to be able to walk around naked, or I want to be able to have company over. I want to be able to smoke or drink or do the things that I want to do without somebody being present. But unfortunately, because your financial situation is not in order the way it should be, you have to settle with where you're at. And there are a lot of miserable people walking around settling with where they're at, uncertain of whether or not those people are going to be able to maintain the living situation. So you really don't have the control in any of the situation, because God forbid if something happens where they can't maintain the rent, their portion of the rent, you're going to be out. You're going to be out on your own or going to another spot that you don't want to be at. Millions of Americans are living in unwanted relationships or living in situations where they don't want to be. Don't you want to get your finances in order so that you can have control over where you live, control over whether or not you can pay the full bills? This one is affecting so many people, and I see it because I cater my business to these type of individuals, and that's living paycheck to paycheck. The most stressful way to live is to receive a paycheck, pay all your bills, and it's gone probably within the day that you received it, and have to wait until the next paycheck. You want to get to the place where you don't even remember that you got paid that week. And I've seen people like that. When I was working, fortunately, I was in that situation where the overflow of money and the budgeting and the ability to keep up with payments and automate payments and everything was there, so that there were times I'm like, oh shoot, we got paid today. I completely forgot. That's where you want to get to. I want to help you get there, but you have to make effort and dedicate a part of your existence to making sure that happens. And it takes discipline, and initially it will take some sacrifice. It's not going to be sacrifice forever. I was working with a client and she had never budgeted. She didn't even know where to start. Write down what's coming in, all of the money that comes in. So if you're getting child support or some type of income regularly outside of your paycheck, include that. After you do that, write down all the money that's going out. Imani, What is all the money that's going out? All the money that's going out is everything you spend money on, including the little things. Because when I tell you the little things add up probably more than your big ticket items, it adds up. So that means if you're dropping by the store and you're picking up stuff that you don't need, or you go to get a shirt, or you're loaning money to someone who, and you know my philosophy on loaning money, because your name is not bank of ... But I understand some people want to help. But write that stuff down. And that way you can see what you have to work with and what you may need to adjust so that you can have some money to pay off your debt, or to save some extra money, or just to save. Because some people don't have a drop in their savings. I'm going to tell it like it is. I'm going to be real with you. Doesn't make sense for me to sit up here and be sweet. Not when we're talking about this kind of stuff. Because financial anxiety doesn't feel sweet. It doesn't feel good. It keeps you up at night. It makes you worry. And when you worry, what happens? Your body breaks down. You don't give your full attention to the things that you love or that you need to do. Or even sometimes to your children and your family. And even sometimes to yourself. So I want you to really work on budgeting and sticking to budget for at least 6 months so that you can see some type of change in your lifestyle. And I guarantee you, as time goes on, you will not worry as much because you know what's going out and you know what's coming in. It's going to eliminate that, or a lot of that for you. Another thing that causes financial anxiety is debt. Now, I 100% understand why people use credit cards to pay for things. We want to enjoy ourselves. We want to be able to get the things that we want to get because our paychecks just aren't doing it. But what you don't realize is the more you use your credit cards, the more interest is applied, the more you go over what is called a 30% utilization rate, which drops your credit, the more that debt starts to pile up and it gets out of control. Only snowball effect that you want is paying off the credit card. You don't want the snowball effect of debt just rolling and rolling and rolling until it's out of control and you cannot do anything about it unless someone either helps you financially or you take on 2 to 3 jobs. And our lives are not meant to be lived working 2 to 3 jobs. Because what type of quality of life are you having? What kind of balance do you have? So making sure that you're only using what you absolutely need to use and that what you absolutely can pay back is essential to reducing your financial anxiety, because you don't want to have to keep rolling after debt and rolling after debt. There's constants in our lives, right? We have mortgages, we have rent, we have leases. You can figure out which one you fall under. But in order to have a roof over your head, unless somebody is paying for that roof over your head, and if that is the case, there could be some anxiety that comes along with that because they have the control. So you want to have some control, but these are constancies in our lives. Make sure you can pay your rent, your mortgage, your lease. If you live in a place where you need to commute and there's no public transportation, you are most likely going to need a vehicle. And if you don't have a vehicle, you're probably going to take Ubers. And that can be very costly. You want to be able to have all of these things, all of your needs in place. And these are debts that are acceptable. However, some people can get out of control with these types of debt. Meaning, they're living in luxury when they don't have luxury money. So if you've ever heard of the slogan, keeping up with the Joneses, that's exactly what that means. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with you wanting luxurious things. But let's get your debt, let's get your credit, and let's get your savings in order so that you can have luxurious things without having to worry about how do you keep those things. I know so many people making I'm talking about decent money, and they are in debt. They are in a rut. You know why? Because no one told them or taught them how to properly manage that money. And what most people do is as their income increases, their spending increases. And really, the correct way, outside of, maybe a few trips here and there, but the correct way to do it is as your income increases, your savings increase. So meaning, if you were making $60,000 a year and you were blessed to receive a raise to $100,000, live off of that $60,000 for a while. Save that $40K. You're not going to receive $40K with Uncle Sam, but the difference that you receive, put it in a saving, or put it in investments, in interest, or you can even invest in property or something. But put it in something that's going to make you money while you sleep. Get out of the mindset of just because you make more money, now you're spending more money. You need a better car. You need to immediately increase your lifestyle or buy a bigger house or, whatever. You don't have to do that right away. You want cushion. Cushion reduces financial anxiety. Knowing that you will be okay regardless of any economic climate, regardless of if you lost your job, regardless of who's in the Oval Office, you will be okay. That is what reduces financial anxiety. That's going to lead me into my next topic, which is an emergency fund. Imani, why do I need an emergency fund? Things happen. Let's face it. Cars break down. People get sick. We see now that they're going to be changing the insurance for medication for some people. You may have a sick parent who might need some financial help from you. They took care of you. Why wouldn't you want to help them, right? So this is what emergency funds are for. The wealthy would tell you you don't need an emergency fund, but guess what? We're not wealthy just yet. When that comes, then you probably won't need an emergency fund. But for right now, we are living in realization. We are being realistic and we are being responsible. And so you want to make sure that you save up for what they would call a rainy day, because it happens. And instead of saying, how am I going to handle this? Oh my gosh, I can't even take out a loan because my credit is bad. I'm not able to get another credit card because my credit is bad. You want to be able to save stuff up. How do you do that when you're not making the money that requires you to make in order to do that? And there's a lot of people in this situation. You're going to have to start cutting back on some things that are not essential for your life. That's how you do it. And the only way you'll know what you can cut back on is to create a budget plan, because emergencies do happen. And let's not even talk about it's not always emergencies. It just could be regular maintenance. You may need glasses and your insurance only pays a certain amount for those glasses, but you have to see. You may need to get certain things on your car to keep it maintained, because if you do live in an area where there's no public transportation, you have to drive. So you're going to need those things to be in order. All of this stuff is just about really just being in order. So there's maintenance that comes up, regular maintenance that you can't get around, because if you do, things are going to start breaking down. And then there's unexpected expenses that come up. And that's okay, because I'm going to help you prepare for those things. We're not having financial anxiety anymore. Those days are over. So I want to say the biggest cause of financial anxiety is job instability. There have been so many times in my life, especially when you see what they call reduction in force, or the company's not doing well, so they have to do layoffs. And you're saying, oh my gosh, is that going to be me? The worst feeling ever. Or maybe you just don't get along with your boss, and you can see that they're trying to come down on you because they're doing little tactics to like write you up or whatever. It happens. It's a part of working for corporate. It happens when you're a business owner, because you don't even know if your clients are always going to be there. They may pull out. They may not like what you're offering anymore. There may be someone else out there that offers something better or less expensive. You have to prepare yourself, but it's the biggest cause for financial anxiety. Because without income, what do? So what I need for you to do is I need for you to make sure that you have some savings. Let's start saving a little bit. 5%. Just start with 5% of your gross. If you can't do 5% of your gross, then do 5% of your net. Start there and put it up. Automate it. Put it up in a bank account that you can't touch. Let it truly be for emergencies. Don't let it be for, oh, I want to go hang out tonight and I want to use that. Or my friend is having a birthday party in Cancun and I want to go. No, that comes later. Let's work on getting rid of financial anxiety. And the best way to get rid of financial anxiety is to be prepared now. And the best way to be prepared now is to make sure you have an emergency fund for savings. Your credit is at a place where if you need to go and take a loan out or get a credit card, you can. And your debt to income ratio is low. That's what we're going to do. So let's recap. No more staying in unwanted relationships or in unwanted situations just because we don't have the money to leave. If that is truly your case, then it's time to sit down and get and create the money to leave. You do not want to be miserable in your life. This life is meant to be filled with joy and love. And staying someplace where you don't want to be is not joy and love. The other thing is, you don't want to be in a place where you feel like you can't leave your job. Or if something, God forbid, was to happen to your job, you would not be okay. Because we all know the government does not have our back, especially now. You don't want to rely on that. Reducing financial anxiety is all about taking control of your finances, and you have every bit of the ability to do that. Let's budget better so you don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. True, you may not have the largest paycheck, but if you budget better, you'll have money sitting afterwards. I promise you, you will have money sitting afterwards. Some people are in situations where they don't have enough money. Their debt is out of control. Their credit is bad. They couldn't move if they wanted to. Like, those are real situations. But just like sticking to a strict diet to lose some weight, you have to stick to a strict discipline plan to make money for the things that you need. Most people need to save. Most people need to increase their credit. And most people need to reduce their debt. So if you want a more secure financial future, let's work together. Let me help you get your finances in order. I have a wonderful community of people who are working to become financially free in a fun and exciting way. We have things such as financial bingo vision board parties where we set financial intentions. And you have something, a vision board helps you visualize what it is that you want. And you can stamp it once it's completed. We're doing a chakra unblocking because a lot of our mindset and money issues stem from childhood and the way we were taught or not taught about money. We're doing some wonderful things in the community. If you want to join the community, the link is in the description below and I will pin it to the comment section. But this is what I want to know from you, and you can put it in the comment. If you could today fix any financial situation that will reduce the stress and the anxiety that comes along with not having things in order, what would that one thing be? I have additional videos on building your credit, savings, certain things you can take out to save right now. They are on the playlist. Take a look at it. I'm sure it will be helpful. And in most cases, it might be something you never thought of doing. But until the next time, Auntie has spoke. I hope I wasn't too hard on you. But I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.